Help us get through this corona coverage that we continue here at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, here's what's new. President Donald Trump today declaring a national emergency, this just within the past hour or so, that takes the step against the coronavirus to the next level. Listen.
And to those families and citizens who are worried and concerned for themselves and their loved ones, I want you to know that your federal government will unleash every authority, resource, and tool at its disposal to safeguard the lives and health of our people.
And that tops our headlines on the illness at this hour. Here's what the declaration means. It actually allows states to request a 75% cost share with the federal government for expenses such as emergency workers. That goes along with testing, medical supplies, and vaccinations. Also, the number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus here in Ohio has now gone from 5 up to 13. I will add, though, there are 159 other cases which are currently under investigation statewide. Nationwide, the numbers also continue to grow with just under 2,000 confirmed cases now in the United States. That has so far resulted in 41 deaths. So the mortality rate at this moment in the United States stands right at 2%. That is considerably less than the 3.7% rate worldwide. And we've just learned that the Rock and Roll Hall will close for 2 weeks. That is starting tomorrow. So it's closed beginning tomorrow through March 21st.
A lot going on, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. You know, and none of this is to surprise us. You know, we said from the very beginning, once we saw the testing start to increase, and now we have Cleveland Clinic doing its testing. University Hospitals just announced that it now has its capability to do testing. It'll start firing up its lab early next week. We're going to see these numbers start climbing very, very quickly. So this should not surprise anybody, and it should not scare anybody, because this is what we knew was going to happen. Also, earlier this afternoon, Governor Mike DeWine gave his daily briefing where he fired a warning. Drew Horansky joins us now from the newsroom. And Drew, parents may need to start scrambling to find alternative daycare.
Monica, Jay, Betsy, you always just wonder what is going to be coming out of these things. And I can tell you this afternoon that the news is what so many working parents had feared would happen, that the fiber that had allowed them to work could possibly soon snap. Now, to be clear, Governor Mike DeWine did not say today that he will be closing down daycares, while at the same time he is not ruling out doing so. Now, remember, he has given us a heads up before, saying, for example, that mass gatherings could be stopped before making it official the next day. This could be one of those situations. Now, right now, he is allowing the loosening of the adult-to-child ratios to allow flexibility in our daycares, and without offering any kind of alternatives to families, he did acknowledge what a hardship this could be for the unforeseeable future.
We know how difficult this would be for many Ohioans and what a burden it would be on them. But daycares are unique. We're not closing up at this point, but people need to start thinking about alternatives.
Now, the governor did say that this is going to be difficult for many Ohioans. He once again said that kids would be unlikely to contract the coronavirus, but if they are healthy. But of course, older people do run a higher risk. So as families are struggling to find alternatives, he did caution parents again to think about who it is who will be watching their kids moving forward.
Yeah. And that's a big part of this. I mean, if you're taking them out of the schools and putting them into another facility, whether it's daycare or something else, the parents want the utmost, with the utmost concern, want to know that their kids are safe.
Right. Thank you very much, Andrew. Well, another gray area has been the casinos, of course. Did the governor say anything about them? I mean, that's what a lot of people have been wondering. But you'll remember, he didn't call them out specifically the other day as a place that had to shut down. So today he said that if there are arenas or places that are hosting more than 100 people at a time, they would be in violation of his order. And of course, a casino is a contained environment, so there you go. He could take action against them, but those aren't his exact words. Monica, I mean, this is unprecedented. The news just keeps on coming out, and things are constantly changing and in flux. We've been asking for everybody's patience on the whole situation, of course. Now, the president came in today, and this was another step up in kind of the alert level for everybody. The president announced a national emergency, but also this public and private partnership to increase the testing capabilities across the country. What exactly does that mean?
Well, obviously, what it's going to mean is that hopefully we're going to see more money. We're going to see more private partnerships getting involved with the testing, because the more tests we can have, the more cases we're going to know how many people have COVID-19. And one of the things we're seeing here locally, again, is that yesterday Cleveland Clinic got its testing up and running. They've already added to 2 more cases from in Ohio's 13. Right. University Hospitals has its capabilities up and running. So you add in other areas, more private testing, we're going to see these numbers jump, and it will just take the strain off of our local hospitals as well.
We're very fortunate, we've talked about this yesterday, here in Cleveland, to have such good medical facilities. But you also have to keep in mind that many of the people in the outlying rural areas are also coming to Cleveland, so that's going to tax the system as well. A couple of other headlines from the president's talk today, and I thought this was very significant. He actually announced that he will be waiving the interest payments on all student loans which are currently held by the government until further notice. This will be a positive impact for many, all of the students that have government loans on their education. And also, and this was interesting, because the oil market has cratered, he has ordered the Secretary of Energy to purchase as much oil as we can hold in our emergency holding facilities because we're getting it at such a reduced rate. He said this will be a savings in the billions to the average American who purchases gasoline. One final question for you before we move along. A lot of corporations are getting involved in this effort by the president to help slow this spread. As we look at things right now, how will the fact that we're having government and private sector coming together for the testing, how is that going to impact ultimately the spread of this virus through the country?
I think a lot. First of all, when you get everybody involved and everybody on board, and we've seen that when you see, the NBA and MLB and NHL, everybody getting involved, and it started rolling, and everybody starting to cancel or suspend their events, and everybody taking this as seriously as they are. Yeah, that is going to have an impact, because everybody realizes we're all in on this. Seriously.
We're suspending regulations and wait times.
We have to. This is what we have to do. And again, like I said yesterday, if you want to stop a virus, you can't give it something that it needs to live on. And is this going to stop the virus entirely? No, absolutely not. This is textbook public health 101. What you want to do is limit social distancing, keep people away from one another, and the entire purpose of this is so we don't crash our medical systems. And as you just said, because other people are coming here from elsewhere to use our medical systems, we can handle cases trickling in. We can't handle if the Cavs had a game and 20,000 people were all infected at once, and 3 days later they all went to our local hospitals and filled up the hospitals at once.
Well, certainly it's a new normal for a short time, and then hopefully we can go back to the old normal and things are going to be good. But for now, we all have to work together, certainly. And speaking of working together, Sarah Shookman is manning the desk, keeping an eye on some of the other headlines this afternoon. Hi there, Sarah.
Yes, and there are a few that are not related to coronavirus, so let's start there. Jay and Betsy and Monica, fire investigators today testified in Stanley Ford's trial. He's the man accused of setting 2 separate fires that killed 9 people, including 5 children in Akron several years ago. Prosecutors say Ford set the first fire on Volt Street in 2016, killing 2 of his neighbors. Then he set a fire the next year that took the lives of 7 others. Ford lived on that street, and prosecutors say he was upset with his neighbors, but Ford claims he's innocent. Well, President Trump's 30-day travel ban from most of Europe starts at midnight tonight. The UK is not currently included, though the president said this afternoon that decision is under review. It's an effort to stop the rapid spread of coronavirus. Americans and legal residents returning to the U.S. may be exceptions here, but they have to travel through select airports for enhanced screening. And the PGA's first major of the year, the Masters, has been postponed because of coronavirus. The Masters was scheduled for April 9th through the 12th at Augusta National in Georgia. This also affects the women's amateur at Augusta and the national finals of the drive, chip, and putt competition. There's no word yet on when this would be rescheduled. You know, we've been talking about it for days, but every level of sports now on hold. The ongoing question, I think, is going to be for how long. The Boston Marathon was another one set to run April 20th. They've already moved back to September. I think you're going to expect to see more decisions like this to come.
Yeah, the sports books in Vegas, which are normally buzzing this time of the year, their busiest time of the year, will be empty. There are no sporting events currently on the board at the sports books.
That's incredible.
We've never seen anything
Strange
like
times.
it. Sarah, thank you. Now, as people are secluding themselves, some local restaurants are taking extra steps to protect customers. Hospitality Restaurants owns places like Blue Point, Rosewood Grill, and the Thirsty Parrot. They're stepping up cleaning and sanitation practices and adjusting how they handle food. They're also encouraging takeout options, all in an effort to put customers at ease.
I think initially I expect that people will be hesitant to go out. But what I hope will happen is that in light of people feeling anxiety, they'll know that going to a local restaurant, a place that's really putting focus into cleanliness and hospitality, is a nice respite from maybe their own fears or anxieties.
Well, this is certainly impacting every aspect of daily life. And our food expert, Doug Tratner, is here with us now. And Doug, you know, I can't help but think that a lot of restaurants are taking a close look at how they clean, how they address customers, how everything goes about with their business. Is this going to have a widespread impact?
It's already having an impact. It's devastating. You know, to come off a long, cold winter, look forward to spring, and you know, this is the time when restaurants start making money. But unfortunately, some of them are closing for 2 weeks, maybe 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Nighttown just decided to close their doors for 8 weeks right before St. Patrick's Day, and this is, you know, it's troubling for all of them, of course. And you saw these measures they're all taking for sanitation and kitchen and dining room and menu cleaning, and obviously it's all to kind of allay fares, and hopefully it's going to work. But at the end, the customer's going to decide, right?
Sure. If you look just on a micro scale and just take Fourth, and you've got Cavs games suspended.
Right.
Indians supposed to open their season March 26th, pushed back at least 2 weeks. The NCAA tournament was supposed to be here next weekend. The impact could be huge on these businesses. I'm wondering, you've heard what some restaurants are doing. Is there anything else they're not doing that you would recommend? And also, I'm curious, do you feel safe eating out in public restaurants right now?
It's a great question. You know, we're talking about that at Scene. Are we going to change our coverage? Are people going to be interested in going out to eat? You know, maybe our stories change. Maybe we discuss the way it's affecting restaurant and diners. And so we're going to take a look, of course. But I think right now, it's a very fluid situation, as we all know. And some restaurants are dealing with it better than others. Others are deciding not to deal with it at all. I think we're going to see over the next couple of weeks, you know, hopefully the ones that do close reopen, you know, and hopefully the folks who lose jobs will get new ones. It's hard.
I've seen a lot of people suggest buying gift cards from restaurants for friends, for birthdays and whatnot, and that's a great opportunity.
You can support them, takeout, delivery, gift cards for later use. If you have reservations, you don't plan on using them, call and cancel them. Do everything you can to support these guys, because it's tough right now.
Doug Tratner, everybody. Thank you very much.
All right, still to come on What's New, our Health Hub is moments away. Monica Robbins standing by with a panel of doctors to answer your coronavirus questions. You can text them, don't call, 216-344-3300.
And Stephanie Haney has been monitoring what's clicking in Cleveland. Hi there, Stephanie.
Hi, Betsy. Yes, Kevin Love of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's really stepping up in a big way for workers of Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. And his charity, the Kevin Love Fund, has tips for us to make sure we're keeping check on our mental health while we are concerned with the coronavirus. We've got more What's New for you straight ahead.
should have gotten permission.
Welcome back to What's New. We know that this is a very stressful time for everybody because we're all going through this together, and we've never been here before. We are, however, committed to bringing you all the facts surrounding the coronavirus and the spread of it. And part of that is turning to people that know, bringing in the medical experts.
Absolutely. And Monica Robbins is in our Studio B with our new health hub and a panel who's helping to answer your questions. Monica?
Hey, yeah, guys. One thing I do know is how to find the experts, and that's exactly what I did. So we brought together a panel of experts, and we're going to be talking to experts for the next several days because so many of you have been contacting me with questions. So we have Cindy Modi from the Lorraine Public Health. We have Amy Ray from Metro Health, and we have Dr. Amy Edwards from Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital, infectious disease experts, public health. These three ladies know exactly what they're talking about. So I'm going to start off with a couple of myths that have been circulating and I've been asked several times. The first one is, if you think you might have the virus, hold your breath for 10 seconds, and if you don't cough, you're good. Is that true? Stop laughing.
Sorry.
Really? That's what everyone seriously thinks that's true. Obviously, you three are laughing, so that's not. Please don't do that.
That just means you don't have a bad cough yet. That doesn't mean you don't have the virus.
Okay, so that's really important. So please do not do that. Do not think that that is an adequate test for whether or not you have the virus.
Right.
All right, here's another one that I keep getting. If to prevent yourself from getting the virus, sip water every 15 minutes, and it will just wash the virus down your throat into your stomach, where your stomach acid will kill it.
It will keep you hydrated, which
Yeah.
is healthy,
Right?
but it won't protect you.
It won't protect you.
So the virus is transmitted onto our mucous membranes, and that's how humans become infected. So on the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So simply drinking water certainly won't be adequate or any protection.
Right. So these are big myths.
Although it is true that your stomach acid will kill the virus, because I've been hearing a lot of people who are afraid to drink tap water in case coronavirus gets into the water supply. That's not a problem. It's fine.
Please drink tap water because
Yes.
our tap
Yes.
water is treated.
Yes.
Okay, here's another one. Zinc will kill all viruses, so please take as much zinc as you can. Is that true?
In a petri dish.
Oh.
So the truth is there's a lot of minerals and vitamins that are very important to normal functioning immune system. You need zinc, you need vitamin C, you need a little bit of selenium, you need a little bit of magnesium, but you get these in trace amounts in your food, which is what you need. So what I would, instead of taking zinc tablets, what I would recommend is eating a healthy diet full of lots of fresh fruits and vegetables so you can get all those good antioxidants and vitamins, and that'll keep your immune system healthy.
So taking zinc, not the answer? No. Okay,
That's a
everybody's
myth.
shaking their heads no. Okay. How long do coronavirus symptoms last in a healthy person?
So I think, on average about a week, but maybe up to 2 weeks. It certainly depends on the age of the person and their comorbidities, which may lengthen the duration of symptoms.
So really it depends. We're not sure. And what exactly is a normal, healthy
Right.
person, too?
And keep in mind, some people will be symptomatic. They won't have symptoms at all. So it will be a range. There's no one answer for every person.
All right, great start, ladies. Don't go away. We have a lot more coming back. We are continuing to answer your questions. We'll be back in a bit. Back to you guys.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you so much, Monica. Those good questions, certainly. We're going to turn directions now and talk a little bit about the forecast. Matt and Michael are out today, and so that tees me up.
On today's show, Betsy will
hang
be
out
doing
with you.
news, weather, cooking segment
I have a
later in the
cooking
show.
segment, too.
And in between, she's been washing down the desk, so she's very busy today.
Yeah, I can't wait for 6:30 because I literally might just sit down and not ever get up again. But it's been a day. But thankfully, the weather has been very calm. The wind's been a little brisk, but the weather overall has been calm. Wasn't it nice to see the sunshine? And as we head through the night tonight, our temperatures fade back into the 30s, all right? Not a big deal, with partly cloudy skies expected for much of northeast Ohio. Yep, there's a look at where the temperatures stand right now. We are in the low 50s in Dover, tropical Dover. Elsewhere, we are in the 40s, and those west winds make it feel a little bit cooler than it actually is. Winds are going to settle down a bit as we get into the overnight hours. Those winds, though, sustained at 29 right now out in Ashtabula. Meanwhile, we have sustained winds out of the west at 17 at Mansfield, so the slower air is moving in, if you will. Those wind speeds are going to start to slow down. It is clear as a bell out there for a lot of folks. We've seen a few fair weather cumulus clouds popping up, but our storm system that we've been focusing on for the last few days is starting to come together in the Plains states. And as we go through the next 24 hours, this is going to be a really cool one to watch because I think it's going to end up being a near miss for us. As you can see, everything starts coming at us as we go into the night tonight and start the day tomorrow. Snow due west with rain and thunderstorms farther south, but a lot of the energy is going to start to push south as we go through the day tomorrow. So at 2 p.m., we're looking at increasing cloud cover, but by the time we get into the evening, right now, it looks like a lot of the snow and or rain will be staying south of us. That said, I'm keeping a little chance in the forecast only because there's still variability that we could see this storm system waffle a little bit. But by the time we get into Sunday, look at that, clearing skies, just gorgeous. Universal Windows Direct Forecast has us at 42 for tomorrow with the clouds increasing. There's your chance of a snow mix late, but I don't think that's much of a chance. 40 and mostly sunny for the day on Sunday. Then back to the mild stuff, 50s for Monday and Tuesday. By the time we get to Thursday and Friday, 60s, we have a little trade-off with some rain coming in. What's new? We'll be right back. Here's a live look at St. Joseph and Avon Lake, where their fish fry for Lent has transformed into a drive-through.
Now, you know what that is? That is human ingenuity right there. It's just one of the ways the communities are getting creative to keep traditions like this intact, as social distancing is now being encouraged. not just here, but all around the country and, in fact, mostly all around the world.
Absolutely. And, we continually keep an eye on trends and what information they are looking for. And certainly coronavirus, they are clicking for that information. The social gathering and the news gathering and info seeking has just been incredible. And a lot of this has to deal with Ohio and what's been happening here.
It really does. And of course, with these press conferences coming from Governor Mike DeWine today, a lot of the issues that are on the top of people's mind are childcare. People still talking a lot about that today. So as of now, as Drew Horansky said at the top of 5 o'clock, daycare centers do remain open. But Governor DeWine said that could change, and he is recommending, if you can, that you take your child out of daycare. Now, that kind of language people are actually finding confusing, saying that we should just close the daycares down if we're going to say things like that. Others, however, are backing up the governor, saying he's being proactive, not reactive, and this is actually a sign of good leadership. DeWine also mentioned that regulations will be relaxed related to the adult-student ratio that's required at these daycares, and that support will be there because we're going to need good daycares now and, of course, after we get through this together. But that does bring some people to worry about the thought of overburdening early childhood teachers. So, of course, as we continue to figure out the answers to this, we'll be keeping a close eye on this, and you'll find those updates on WKYC.com and our app. Now, some good news for people who are out of work related to all of this coronavirus stuff. Kevin Love has stepped up in a really big way, donating money to help the workers at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse who are out of work as events are canceled. He is putting up $100,000 through his Kevin Love Foundation, and he's also asked others to join him too. Now, the Kevin Love Foundation often focuses on physical and emotional well-being, so as part of that message, they're sharing tips for us to help stay calm throughout this process. These are tips that they shared from the Child Mind Institute, which is an independent nonprofit that helps with mental health and learning disorders. So those tips are, be aware, but moderate your news intake, get your updates, and don't necessarily dwell once you get that information. You want to create a calm space to work if you are working from home or if you are self-quarantining, and you want to focus on deep breathing and meditation practices. And here's an important tip as well. If you need help, make sure that you reach out for it. They do have a crisis text line through that organization. You can text the word SHARE to 741-741 if you do feel like you need that help. Make sure you reach out. And along the lines of those meditation tips, we actually have meditation tips on WKYC.com and the WKYC app today as part of the Weekend Guide.
I think it's a pretty smart idea. And, phone a friend. You can talk on the phone, you can text your friends, you can go outside for a walk. I mean, common sense.
We do definitely have to remember mental health, always important while we're focused on our physical health.
You don't have to lock yourself in the basement, but you do have to use your common sense.
Stephanie, thanks. Grocery stores are running out of many items. You've probably already seen this. Danielle Serino getting answers as to how stores are responding.
Plus, how is Tom Hanks doing since he announced he'd been diagnosed with the coronavirus? We'll have an update.
And our Health Hub is back in moments to answer more of your coronavirus questions. What's new is coming right back.
Oh, can you hear me? Hi.
Welcome back to What's New. We are still following new developments with response efforts surrounding the coronavirus outbreak.
Here's what's new at 5:30.
The FCC struck a deal with major internet providers during the outbreak. Many of the major companies, AT&T as well as Comcast, have agreed to offer free services to low-income families for the duration of this situation. They've also agreed not to shut off service if subscribers cannot pay their bills because of coronavirus-related disruptions to their income.
And the city of Cleveland is enacting similar measures for Cleveland Water and Cleveland Public Power customers. Today, Mayor Jackson announced that both utilities will stop shutoffs for late payment and restore connections during the pandemic. And according to the governor's office, the official number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Ohio stands at 13. That is an increase from yesterday. Another 159 people are under investigation for the virus. Now remember, more testing kits, more testing capabilities. The numbers will continue to grow as the tests continue. Now, we've been talking about it for a couple days now. There's been a whole lot of grocery shopping going on in Northeast Ohio. Lines of 40-minute waits. I mean, it's been very busy. A lot of folks are very worried.
And a lot of empty shelves. Consumer investigative reporter Danielle Serino has been digging into the details on this for us all day. Danielle, what are you hearing about when some of these items that are out of stock will be back in stock?
Nobody knows.
Yikes.
I called the major manufacturers. I'm talking Procter & Gamble, who makes Bounty, and Charmin. I spoke to the people who make Lysol products. I left messages for the people who make Clorox products. Nobody is committing to when these products will be available on the shelves.
Wow.
They realize what's going on. They're saying they're doing their best to get them out to the people. Gojo, the people who make Purell, actually, they are hiring people. They had a Facebook post, actually a video, where they're saying, please come apply to get a job.
For their Worcester manufacturing facility.
Thank you. Yeah, because they need people. They need these facilities to keep operating around the clock. And then I spoke to some of the retailers, big box stores like Target. They had said that they are limiting supplies on products. And again, they are working around the clock to do the best they can. Some of the supermarkets. Dave's actually said they have some products in stock. They're doing okay, but their people told them, listen, some products are going to stop coming soon, and the trucks are not going to come as often. Mark's limiting the amount of products that people can buy. All of them are saying we are doing everything we can, work around the clock, but no one can commit because they have so much inventory that they have to replace. They don't know. I mean, if the numbers go up, they're going to keep, people are going to keep buying.
We're not using more toilet paper.
But they're scared that they're not going to be able to go out. So here are some tips. If you can't find it, go online. Start that first. And then you could just easily go from store to store to store, because some will tell you, whether they have stock or they don't. And my other suggestion is go to more rural areas if you're going to the stores.
Oh, that's a good
They
tip.
will still be stocked up, but there will be fewer people that are buying all the products. But this is going to go on for a while, most likely.
And I think it's interesting. A lot of people think this is so shocking and this is terrible and what's going on.
I was surprised, though, to go to the stores.
There's countries that this is daily life for them.
Yeah, well,
and there's some places in the country. So I think this is a humbling kind of social thing that's happening for us right now.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
But yeah, it's definitely a change, and that's hard to stomach.
I haven't seen anybody lose their temper here, but I've heard that in other places, it's getting ugly.
Well, don't forget, thank you so much, Danielle, that moments from now, we'll be going back to our new health hub. Monica is standing by with our panel of physicians. You can text your questions. Again, that's a text message to 216-344-3300.
All right, Russ Mitchell is here for coronavirus distraction. There are other headlines going on in the news world, and he is in the newsroom at his desk to get us up to date on that. Hello, Russ.
I like my new title, Jay. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, everybody at home. A woman is dead after a cement truck and a van the woman was driving went over an embankment. The truck ended up on its side and on top of the van. This happened at Martin Luther King and Fairhill Road in Cleveland late this morning. No word yet on what caused that accident. The state of Louisiana has postponed next month's presidential primary in the wake of the coronavirus. It was scheduled for April 4th. It is now set for June 20th. The reasoning behind this move is because the majority of poll workers are over the age of 65 and are at higher risk from the virus. And with hand sanitizer in high demand, as Danielle alluded to just a moment ago, Gojo Industries is looking for workers at its Worcester facility. Gojo, an Akron-based company, makes Purell. The positions available on the Worcester campus are in production and distribution. And that was interesting what you said about toilet paper. I get everything else, the hand sanitizer, the wipes and all that, but toilet paper?
I'm with you.
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't get. I mean, it's just the people are hoarding things in fear that they won't have them. And when you start thinking about all of the essentials we need, start for a second thinking about what life would be like without toilet paper.
Well, but
people
I think,
get scared and they buy it up.
I was surprised that the toilet paper shelves were empty and the wine was completely stocked. I'm like, what's going on here?
The other way around, right?
Betsy's going for the wine. You're in luck. There's plenty of it left.
Exactly. Exactly.
Russ, we'll see you at 6.
See ya.
Stephanie Haney here with Pop Break, and we have a shocking new development in the latest Bachelor pairing. Looks like Mom got her way after all.
You said it, Jay. Bachelor Nation could definitely cut the tension with a knife between Pilot Pete's mom, Barb, and Madison Pruitt on Tuesday's live finale. But it looks like that's not going to be a problem for Maddie anymore. Can't say the same thing for Peter, though. Here's your Pop Break.
It looks like Barbageddon got her way. The Bachelor's Pilot Pete and Madison announced they're calling it quits in separate Instagram posts late last night. The ex-couple had nothing but nice things to say about each other, but Peter's mom, Barb, who let the world know she is no fan of Maddie, stole the show again with a post of her own at the exact same time.
Leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again.
The shade. We're not too worried about Maddie, though. She was buying board games and having a girls' night with Selena Gomez after the split, because that's what friends are for. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, who are quarantined in Australia with coronavirus, eased the minds of millions last night with an update on the good care they're getting down under. And Tom gave us a laugh again, writing, "Remember, despite all the current events, there is no crying in baseball." Live shows are doing their part to keep things contained by taping episodes without audiences, which is making for pretty awkward monologues for the likes of James Corden, Jimmy Fallon, and Stephen Colbert.
As you may have noticed, none of you are here right now. Only people in the audience right now. Give me a shot of this. Only people in the audience right now are some members of my staff.
Colbert had to take it one step further, though, saying on Twitter that he's going on hiatus a full week early. Better safe than sorry. And Kelly Ripa is dealing with her own coronavirus side effects, even though she doesn't actually have it.
That there's been a lot of worrying. You can see it's written all over my face. Dr. Analik decided to be brave today and come into work.
Yes.
Self-care comes in many forms.
Just getting that Botox before the shortage runs out from all those worry lines.
Oh, man. You and Mike Polk dove into a recent social media craze. I can't wait to see this.
We did. We have it for you. It's the Flip the Switch.
It's a new dance craze sweeping the nation.
It's called the Flip the Switch Challenge, and it has people swapping their clothes.
Look, I just flipped the switch. Flip, flip. I don't know nobody else that's doing this.
More as the story develops. It's a new dance craze sweeping.
Oh, I think the best part, though, was him walking away. He's like, I'm out of here.
Mike's never looked better.
Clearly, if
my
you
word.
don't follow us on TikTok, you are missing out.
Yes.
WKYC Studios.
How'd you talk him into that?
It was surprisingly easy.
I'm surprised.
Little mad that he wore that dress so well, I'm not going to lie. Right?
I was asked, and it took me about an eighth of a second to say, absolutely not.
They
Nobody
didn't
wants
even
to see
mention
that.
me.
Well, no, it
said
was up
nothing to me.
They were going to do it, you and I, if I was okay with it.
Oh, so it didn't matter if I wasn't.
Well, I don't know
was
who's
like,
going to stand
I'm not allowed
behind
to
you
touch
without
Sorry,
I know the guy.
teasing.
I'm a little disappointed, though, Mike didn't have the dance moves to go along with it.
We thought about it.
Yeah,
We
that's
went
the
that way.
only thing that was missing. Okay, Steph, thanks. Next, we head back to our new health hub to answer more of your questions surrounding the coronavirus.
And we'll also take a look at the forecast and how things are going to play out as we go through the entire weekend. So far, not too bad. Welcome back to What's New. And of course, we are keeping a very close eye on the coronavirus. Our coverage continues, and we continue our messaging of facts, not fear. And that's where we rope in Monica Robbins and her panel of experts in our Health Hub to tell us more of, to answer the questions that have been coming in. Monica?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, let me introduce some. So we have Director of Community Health and Nursing, Cindy Modi. We have Dr. Amy Ray from Metro Health and Dr. Amy Edwards from Rainbow, both infectious disease experts. Ladies, let me start with this one. I'm getting this one a lot, too. Can you get COVID-19 twice?
So because COVID-19 is so new to us as medical scientists, a lot of information is coming out rapidly, and there have been a couple of cases reported where a patient has been tested and may be infected twice, but mostly we think that was a testing error, meaning the initial infection, the symptoms resolved, but the virus was still detectable. So as far as we know at this time, there's only one of these viral strains circulating. So in theory, and what usually happens is after primary infection with a virus, your own body makes immunity to keep you safe and protected. At this time, we don't know how long that immunity will last.
Okay, well, here's another one. Is it possible this virus has been around for a long time and we're just now catching on to it?
No, no. I've heard that one before. Like, could this be a new, just a different strain or whatever? Coronavirus as a viral family has been around for a long time. We've known about it since, like the 1960s, I think, or something like that. This is very clearly a novel coronavirus, probably circulating in animals, and it crossed over to humans. It hasn't been around for a long time, and that's actually why we're so susceptible to it, because we don't have immunity from prior exposure.
Okay. One of my coworkers' daughters went to Italy to study. She just got sent home. Should she be worried?
Well, I certainly think she should be cognizant of symptoms, right?
Yes. And I'm sure she received guidance as she came into the country to self-quarantine, meaning stay in her home for up to 14 days, and if she develops symptoms, to call her provider.
So this is the coworker of the mom. So just because the mom's still going to work, should
Absolutely
this
not.
person?
Right.
So just because somebody might have been exposed, if you work at the same place or whatever, you don't have to worry about it.
An exposure to an exposure is not an exposure.
Right.
Now that Ohio has closed schools for 3+ weeks, is it safe to take the kids to outdoor playgrounds?
I would. I'm taking my kids to outdoor playgrounds. You know, wash your hands, be careful, but outdoor spaces in general are much safer than indoor spaces because you can get that distance. And your kids are going to need to burn off that energy. So maybe avoid the busiest times of day, but absolutely, and maybe don't make play dates with other kids. Keep it to just your kids. But I'm going to be taking my kids outside. They would die if they didn't go outside.
Right, and come in, wash your hands, and also social distancing. Encourage your children to stay away from
They're
other
wrapping
children.
me up, but very, very quickly. Should they close daycare? Should they close casinos?
Casinos, I'm a yes for.
Yes, casinos.
Or casinos.
Daycares are harder, but I think they're probably going to have to go too.
So the issue with daycare is those little kiddos can carry the virus but be perfectly fine, and then they aren't educable about social distancing.
Right.
So they come home to grandma and grandpa or go visit, and they hug and kiss, and so I would support closing daycares.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. We're going to hear back from you tonight at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Back
Monica.
to you guys.
Really good stuff.
Really good stuff. And it was interesting when Monica sat here yesterday, we were talking about the testing kits and the new kits coming in and all that stuff. And she said, one of the things you have to understand is that when you get a test done, they're not testing you for coronavirus right away. They're going to test you for influenza, then RSV, then the coronavirus after the first two are knocked out. Now, here's the interesting thing. The County Board of Health of Cuyahoga County sent out their weekly flu surveillance. 48 confirmed cases of flu associated hospitalizations just this last week.
Wow.
And there were 4 flu-related deaths. That's influenza, not coronavirus.
And that's just in the county.
Just in the county.
Because
It's in the entire state of Ohio that we have 13 confirmed cases of coronavirus since early February.
Yeah.
So keep it all in context, everybody. We got to be cognizant, as the nurse said, and then we also just have to make common sense about any illness. And these viruses, they are nasty. So let's switch gears. We'll talk weather. We've got mostly clear skies going on. Temperatures fading back through the 30s through the night tonight. There's our weekend storm system that's really not ours. We're going to share it with areas farther south. We have mostly clear skies today. Thank goodness for that sunshine. We've got great outside play weather setting up for next week, too. Mamas, daddies, you're welcome. There's the look at that next storm system, as I mentioned, and watch how this thing's going to really try to come at us, and then it's going to move to the south. It's going to do a bob and weave for us. We have increasing clouds through the night tonight, and especially through the day tomorrow, and a lot of the energy will transfer south of us as we get into the afternoon. So the bulk of any type of precipitation, whether it's rain and or snow, is most likely to fall to the south of us as we go through Saturday evening into Saturday night. And then by Sunday, we're on the back side of it. We don't have anything to worry about. Things are looking great. Here's your Universal Windows Direct forecast. 42 for the day tomorrow. And again, if we're going to get that snow mix, it's late and that chance is pretty slim. Then sunshine and 40 for Sunday. Look at next week, though. We get a dry start. Temperatures start cooking into the 50s, and we're pushing into the 60s then with rain coming in as we head through the end of next week. What's new? We'll return in just a minute.
So we have seen Betsy do the news, do the weather. Now she's going to do a cooking segment. And this is big because obviously St. Patty's Day just a few days away.
Right.
And a lot of folks are going to stay indoors this year.
Yep.
So if you're looking to enjoy that usual festive meal of corned beef,
right,
Betsy's got you covered.
Flat cut beef brisket is what you need, and it comes with a little flat cut beef brisket. Comes with a little magical package of seasonings, and that becomes corned beef.
That's how you turn it into corned beef.
This is my almost famous but not so secret recipe for crock-pot corned beef. Okay, the number one thing in this recipe is right here. Cooking bags, the liners for the crock-pot. You cannot go wrong with these.
I didn't know that anybody ever used those.
They're phenomenal.
Why? So you don't have to clean it?
Well, you have to clean it, but it just keeps everything contained and you can get everything out and dumped at the end. So
I'm
you
learning
put that
so
in,
much.
right? All right, so you're gonna use 4 potatoes. You can use red potatoes, you can use yellow potatoes. I love golden Yukon.
Do you throw them in there cooked or no?
No,
raw?
you cut them up in corners. We're just gonna chuck them in there.
Put them in there
This
raw.
is like a dump type of a recipe.
Okay.
You could also put this in a freezer bag and then put it in the freezer.
That's a good idea.
A pound of carrots. This is where the little tiny carrots come in so handy. God bless whoever figured out how to do those things. Onion. You will not go wrong with onion in this recipe,
And that's
right?
a lot of onion. It's strong.
One onion. It's a white
all it
onion,
is?
so it's a little stronger.
Okay.
But, oh, what the heck, we'll throw the whole thing in there. All right, then you take your brisket and you put that right on top.
Don't do anything to it?
I'm
or
not
just
doing
put it in there?
anything to it. I'm just gonna lay that bad boy right on top like that.
This is my kind of recipe. Super easy.
Fat side up. That's
Fat
a
side
big
up.
deal.
Why does
Fat
that make a
side up.
difference?
Because
Flavoring?
then all the fat will like drain down into the meat. All right, I'm
Okay.
gonna switch gloves here so I don't have raw meat going on. But 3 cups of water, because you want to add some humidity into this bad boy, right? And then you have to take, oh, what the heck, we're just gonna ditch the glove. This is my kitchen. So we're gonna put the spice packet into the water.
And that magically turns it into corned beef.
Well, that's part of what does it, all right? We're gonna add, let's throw in 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar, which I love. We're gonna add a little extra, okay? 2 tablespoons of sugar, granulated sugar. We're gonna throw some garlic in there, like that. I think that's pretty good. We're gonna stir it.
We're going to put this up on our
You
website,
dump it
too.
right over the top. Get all the sugar and stuff on the top, too.
What about the cabbage?
You put a bay leaf on it, right?
Just one?
1 bay leaf, that's all
Okay.
you need. You get the idea. Go
One
bay
bay
leaf. And then you stack the cabbage in there on the top. You put the top on, you put it on low for 8 hours or
Right.
so. I got up at 7 o'clock this morning to put this one in. So this is fresh out of the crock pot. This is the finished product.
Can we get a
I
look
took
at
it out
The finished product is beautiful.
and sliced it. We slice it up thick in our family. And then you kind of serve up everything else, which this is my kind of serving. You just dump that stuff out on
How
a
long
plate.
does it cook for?
And good luck. 8 hours.
8 hours?
8
and you're-
hours.
Look at
I like
that.
to use whole milk Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, but you can use sour cream too.
Okay.
And this is your meal, and you didn't have to do anything for it. This is an allrecipes.com.
Okay. Allrecipes.com. This isn't your
This is
recipe?
the secret part.
It's
Where I
kind
found
of
it.
Betsy's recipe.
But I'll put the link to this on wkyc.com/what's new. That's our page, and I'll put the link on there. You'll find it.
More What's New right after this. Okay. Well done, Superwoman.
Good. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mic check. Sarah's mic. Drew, one of the big takeaways was a warning.
Yeah, Monica, mic check. We begin with Andrew Horansky. He's here now with more change.
Yeah, this is, yep, coming.
I'm here. Sorry, just had it at my feet. Yep, can you hear me? This is 500 poll workers short here at the Board of Elections. Okay.
It has been a week, but we made it to Friday. And just because big events are canceled doesn't mean we can't all still have some fun. Here are a few ideas for you this weekend. You can take a solo hike at Holden Arboretum, where there's 3,500 acres to explore, giving you plenty of space to keep your social distance, and it's free right now. Let's get outside and get some fresh air. Or you could finally learn to meditate and make that vision board you've been putting off since January 1st. No idea where to start? We've got tips for you online at WKYC.com and our WKYC app. And if all else fails, today's World Sleep Day. There's literally no better time to catch up on your rest and take a nice long nap. Let's all recharge, and we'll see you on Monday.
That is a great idea. Stephanie, thank you. That is a great idea. That's it for us. We're back Monday at 5. Have a great weekend.
Yes, stay patient, stay safe, stay healthy. What matters most with Russ and Sarah starts right now.
Tonight, new cases, new concerns. President Trump declares a national emergency over the coronavirus. From the White House to the State House to City Hall, we'll tell you what's being done to protect you. Also, safe and fed. How the food bank and local schools are making sure the needs of kids are met while they're out of school for several weeks. Plus, we take you inside a local hospital's testing lab and look into whether there are enough medical supplies to go around. Primary scramble. Hundreds of poll workers already canceling. What's being done to keep voters from getting sick? And our health hub is up and running. Our team of doctors is here to answer your coronavirus questions until 7:30.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Breaking news this evening, the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Ohio has more than doubled in the past 24 hours. There are now 13 cases confirmed in Ohio. 159 have been tested and are awaiting results. So the number of cases expected to go up in the coming days.
And that's partly because testing is becoming more rapidly available, as Cleveland Clinic and university hospitals are now offering on-site coronavirus testing.
And a short time ago, President Trump declared a national emergency over coronavirus, freeing up some $50 billion in funding to fight it.
The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order, I'm urging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately.
And good evening. This continues to be a fast-moving story, and of course, we want to keep you informed.
Our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins,